It's winter and it's time to winterize my plants, starting with this Oxalis. Take a look at what I did. I sure did cut it from the bottom. It was a necessary thing to do. So I'm going to show you how I did it and why I did it. So on this beautiful wintry day here in California, I decided that it was time to winterize my Oxalis because I think the next week or so we're going to be getting some freezing temperatures and I don't want it to die. I want to plant it again the coming year so that I can get a beautiful fuller bush. And so I've been researching a lot about this plant, and as far as I know, you can pull out the bulbs and turn it into an annual. And so just look at that bunch there. That's from one little seedling. I wasn't sure what I was going to expect after cutting it down, but let me tell you something, it was not an easy task to do it. I actually had to take a deep breath because I felt so bad cutting it. Look at how pretty it is. Look, I had to pause and cut. Oh, that hurt me, and I'm sure it hurt the plant. But it's important because this plant will actually create little bulbs down at the bottom. And so that's what I'm digging for here. I'm gonna pull out some of the soil because I want to reuse this a little bit later. I'll set it aside. I was cleaning it up because there was a lot of leaves. I have a horrible tree that throws a lot of leaves in my little patio. But so I'm gonna pull out the bunch of the little, I want to call them corns. I think that's what they're called. But there's a lot of them, and it's this little orange thing that you notice there right in the center. I started with one of those, and when I purchased my Oxalis seed, it actually only came with one tiny corn. And so here I go. I'm gonna go ahead and keep pulling out those little babies from the roots, and oh my god. The teeny tiny little corns that grew, some of them were so small, but I had to be careful that I didn't leave any in the soil because if I did, then it would start to grow again. And so that clump that I pulled out has all the tiny little corns, and here you'll notice that I start to pull them apart. I had to be careful. I watched a video where a girl said it doesn't matter, you can just pull them apart because they're really hardy or something like that. I just wanted to be careful that I didn't ruin any of them, and you'll notice I pulled out a lot of them. I was actually very, very surprised. So here they are, just laying on this parchment paper that I have. I wanted them to dry out before I cut off any of the roots that were attached, but this one right here is the first one that I had mailed to me. It's not that big. It's actually a little bit smaller. I think a chunk of it went with one of the other pieces. But these are all the little pieces, the little corns that came out from the roots that had grown, and that's one. I believe that's one of them. So I'm hoping that by the time spring comes around that I'll be able to take all of these little babies and stick them in the ground to have them all grow. And so I spread them out, let them dry. Then after they were a little bit dry, I pulled off the roots and the top part, and I put them in a box with my Scylla, my Caribbean jewel bulb. I had cleaned these and I had done these a while ago. They've been sitting in my cold closet for some time now. But look at how tiny these little babies are. If my gut is correct, come spring, I'll spread these all over one of my pots, and I'll have a huge bush of Oxalis, this beautiful plant that I have. I am so excited. I love all my plants, but these are, I think, my favorite. And now a quick little update on my garden. Got myself a little watering can here just to make the process a little easier. I don't want to have to be lugging my hose around every single time I want to water my plants, so I decided to get one of these. It's pretty cute. I like the long little nozzle here and the way that it waters. It's pretty cool. And a lot of things have changed on my shelf. I still have my plant here, and I can't remember what the name of this plant is, but it starts with an M. My rose is getting really tall, and I'm just letting it finish blooming for the season, and I'm gonna cut it down. I'm thinking of turning this into a bonsai. Not really sure. I'm thinking about it, but we shall see. I don't know if I like the structure down at the bottom enough. These are those that I thought were peonies, but they're actually what do you call them? Oh shucks, it'll come to me in a second, but they're growing. It's a little late for them to even be growing, but I have them there anyways. I'm trying to protect them. These back here are my ranunculus that went into this rectangle long planter. I just transferred them not too long ago. I don't know how happy they are. This one looks pretty sad, and that one looks really happy. So in comparison, I would say that one might not make it, but I'm not giving up just yet. And here I have a few other seeds that I had purchased. I don't know if anything's gonna happen to them. They're actually on this side of the little planter here. And then I have some trees that I had just stuck in the soil. I'm not even sure if they're gonna grow, but I'm just kind of trying all kinds of different things. I was a little hopeful because I saw these little nubs come out, but it might have been just the remaining vigor that the tree had from when I had plucked it. So anyways, down here I still have all my little bonsai trees. I have the two pots down there. This bottom one, the light green one, was where I had my scillas, and then this top one is where I had my oxalis. They're empty now, it's just soil. And I have my little trees all lined up here in the bottom. They're doing okay. Not all of them are happy, but we'll see what happens in the spring. And way down here you'll see is my lavender. That poor thing, I killed it. I know for a fact I killed it. I'm not that hopeful. And my husband today, he got a leaf blower, and he literally just took off all the leaves, and look, we already have a bunch from this wretched tree. Oh my gosh, I told him I never thought in my life I would live in an apartment where I had to deal with so many leaves. It's crazy. And here are my dwarf elephant ears, and the babies that I took out that I still have. They're just kind of lounging. And my Kella. I think this is a flower. I think this is a flower right here, you guys. I'm not sure. It looks like a leaf, but can you believe this thing? I thought it was gonna go dormant, and it looks more excited than anything. And down here, that's where my Scylla was. This is another one of those dwarf elephant ear babies. And this one is still there. It's still happy. It's still giving me some growth. I'm not planning on doing anything with that one. We'll see what happens over the winter. This is a learning process for me. So that's the little garden tour for you guys. Just wanted to give you guys an update of what is going on. Can't wait for spring for some reason. I'm usually a winter person, but because of these plants, can't wait for spring.